See, um, yeah, I think that we're in sync. How y'all doing? It's Thursday. Thursday. I was just humming along with a little Brewer and Shipley. Yes, indeed. One toke over the line. Sweet Jesus. One toke over the line. Waiting in the train in the downtown station, hoping that the train will be on time. It's a great rhyme when you really get going with it. So, hello, everybody. Hello, moderators. How are you? Hello, all the rest of the wonderful, far out, free thinking people. Man, there's a lot of y'all in here. Wow, very cool. You've been practicing. Yeah, you know, yeah, there was a time that, yeah. Anyway, we yeah. Anyway, how about those tones? Boy, that's what you do too. You can just actually get yourself into the ohms. Isn't it interesting how, ampage, ohms? Yeah, whatever. Just invoking favor upon all of us this day. May favor find you. May it dwell with you. May it be a constant companion with you. And may in your life there be nothing missing, nothing broken, ever. And remember this, all dilemmas, all disputes can be resolved and done so that it actually favors you. So there you go. Yeah, everything you set your hands to, remember, favor causes it to prosper. And even when negative news comes, as it does, I mean, this is the world we live in, um, your exercise is how good are you at transmuting? Do you believe that favor works for you? That means that at any time there's a situation that is not to your favor, it will be resolved to your favor. So there you go. That's how it works. So good to see everyone. Happy birthday to everybody who is having one, and anniversaries. They're important. They really are. You know, the one thing I guess we don't typically remember is the day that we depart. Anyway, tomorrow we have Lois, Cajun Queen Tarot, going to help fill up her food pantry. So if you got a few shekels and a few pounds and maybe a few dollars, go to the PayPal link on my YouTube channel homepage and make sure that if you're going to give, do it that way. Don't go through the giving thing with YouTube. It's not worth it. That goes to her quickly, directly, and without the enormous fees. So there we go. Hey, Al, how the heck are you? Big Al is in the room. You are now a professional contaminable relocator truck driver. Boy, there's a technical term for you. Well, congratulations, my friend. Are you going to be here tomorrow? Funny, ohms would be defined as resistance, surely a perverted definition based in mind control. Cayce, ain't it true? Ain't it true? So gonna have her on tomorrow. I think we're gonna have a few other special guests coming on, and we'll just have a good time tomorrow. Just kind of make it a free form, see how the spirit leads us. Heading down the road, as they would say. Tonight on the artistfirst.com network, the Steiger Perspective, the title is Intersections. Tune in. You'll see what I mean. Intersections. Think about that. Yes. Tight schedule, huh? Well, that's all right, buddy. Hey, we're just happy to have you here. It's good anyway how it works out, no matter what. So anyway, get a chance, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 Mountain, 7 Pacific. And what other time zone there may be. think that so they're supposed to be like 24, but I think there's actually 26, something like that. I don't know. Infinite Frequencies. How did you do? Today was the 35th anniversary of Don Elkin's date. Isn't that interesting? That's an interesting paper. Those people, I have no doubt they were in touch with something. Been thinking about this, and I get up rather early, as many of you do. There are greater intelligences that they just can't communicate with us. We're not there. And I can get that. I can fully get that. Yeah, all right, I can dig that. But I'm certainly sure of this, that we can, in fact, be in touch. Here's I get emails sometimes of people who say, well, you need to be very cautious about advising people about channeling or having any communication with spirits, because it's a very dangerous thing. My response that I write back is, so are you afraid of dying? I mean, all right, your rationale doesn't make any sense. Are you saying that every newborn baby that comes in here should be told ahead of time how dangerous this place is, but on the other hand, how wonderful it can be? I mean, folks, either we're going to be over there or we're not. Today show is talking about awakening past memories, and I give 3 buckets that the reality is for humanity. Number 1, we are ancient. Many of us older than the universe itself, because I believe universes come and go. I believe we are from a place of thought where time is not measured. Just like we don't know our beginnings. That's bucket 1. Bucket 2 says, in the standard genre of all religions combined, if you homogenized them, sliced them, diced them, put them in the puree, and then you pour it out, what you're going to get is that, well, when a baby is born, it's a newborn spirit soul. It has a limited, whatever fate decides or predestination, time to gain knowledge. And supposedly being able to do this on such a level that you can balance the good with the evil, the perfect with the imperfect. And when you die, you're either going to be judged, and it will be either up or down. Now, bucket number 3 is that we have no past. When we come into this consciousness, it's merely just a spark. And when that spark dies, when the body dies, there's nothingness, baby. Nothing. Those are the 3 basic realities that face us. Now, I prefer 1. It's just me. But it's like, yeah, I mean, it's for me, it's no longer even something I think about. The fact is, I know that we don't know our beginnings. If we don't know our beginnings, then how in the world are we going to know our endings? You can't have one without the other, it would appear. But in any case, that brings up to the subject then, well, if we are this ancient, then why don't we remember? And can we access past memories, past lives? The answer would say yes. Now, I have, for your listening informational purposes, to gain... Thank you, Cayce. I can't look at the chat thing and drive the bus. I mean, we'll be all over the road on this one, darling. All right, so here we go. This is a document called Outlander Past Life Clues Workbook. Rather interesting little document. So our questions for today's consideration are as following. Let me get there where we all can see it. All right. Let me ask you the following questions. Do you have past memories of past lives? You know, there was a time, but seriously, where I've had those brief glimpses, that either I've done this before, I don't know where I get this talent from, I am not sure, but nevertheless, it seems to be natural. Yeah. Do you have déjà vu moments about people and places? You know how I answer that question? Hell yes. Yeah. And here of late, they seem to be increasing. It's that scene in The Matrix, I'm seeing that freaking cat over and over again. Okay. Do you know who your soulmates are? That's a good question. I would contend that if we were really objective about this, yeah. I mean, think about it. Think about the past relationships that have led you to the ones that you're currently involved or not involved with, but your most recent. I mean, I look back and I hear Julio Iglesias and Willie Nelson singing To All the Girls I've Loved Before. Yeah, now you're going to get that earwig in you. To all the girls we've known before. Yeah. And so it goes on and it says clues to your past lives can come in many forms. Sometimes you may experience, we just talked about, a sense of déjà vu, a feeling of knowing or recognizing someone when you meet them for the first time, or perhaps even an intuitive feeling, good or bad, about someone which you're unable to shake. I've had incidences in my life where I've met someone and it's as if we have known each other for, seems like forever. Yeah. Yeah, that ever happened to you? All right. You may feel instant rapport with someone. Yeah, baby. Been there, and we have done that thing a couple of times. A sense of recognition when you visit a certain place. A feeling of having done something before. Dreams, which are extremely clear and vivid. More past clues can live on in your physical and emotional being, it's written, which you are unable to trace back to experiences in this life, such as certain personality traits, beliefs, or fears. I know this sounds odd, but I have had experiences where I think that where I have passed on because of something that happened. Unusual reactions to situations. Physical strength or weakness in certain parts of your body, birthmarks, physical ailments. The birthmark thing is really an interesting topic. It is said that we all have a birthmark. Now, I know that there are differences, but it's really interesting. And why? A lot of theories go back on that. They say that it started with Cain. Who knows? If you buy into that mythos. Clues can also show up as particular interests, such as an unexplainable interest in certain culture, clothes, or artifacts which you find yourself drawn to. Yeah. kind of behind on my wall. It goes on to say, do you have any of these traits? Impatience, quick to anger, slow to anger, a drive to win and succeed, a need to get on with others, feeling easily hurt, feeling not easily hurt, empathetic, sensitive to others' feelings. I mean, this place is, it's like everyone you go to each table. It's like, yeah. It's like you almost don't even have to. This is how I would imagine if this core group got together, as you're working around the room and, you wouldn't really have to say how you're doing. You could really say, you should have yourself have a little reading done on, that's what I'm talking about. How about insensitive to others' feelings? We've seen that. All of us have. A quick learner, many areas. Slow to learn, I would have to say, yeah. Strong-willed, assertive. Mm-hmm. Easily persuaded or manipulated. Worry needlessly, the class clown. This is like taking a Briggs-Myers test. A need to be the center of attention. Afraid of conflict, brave, fearless, fear of failure, often sunk in self-pity, feel like you are unique, different, not like others. What do you often say to yourself? Some people are unaware of their internal dialogue until they pay attention to it. Even though it's your self-talk, it could originate from any one of your contributing past lives. It's really interesting. I used to teach corporate sales, and one of the lessons that the courses that was integrated in the seminar was learning how to mirror. And it's a technique. Actors use it, CEOs. It is a learned technique. Now, the interesting thing about mirroring is that you become very much aware of your speak. And because remember, it's in the persuasion of getting the client to be at ease and then obviously to buy and close the deal. But when you learn to be observant of self-speak, you would be surprised how many people boomerang themselves. They're believing for something. They work very diligently, focusing, projecting, but they counter everything that they have done because of their words that they don't even hear themselves speaking. All right, so do you ever hear yourself saying, I can't do that? I'm not worthy. It'll never work. Relationships never work for me. Men, women can't be trusted. Life is a struggle. I'll never be successful. Money is hard to earn. I'm better than everyone else. No one can be trusted. I don't care. No one loves me anyway. I'm all alone. That something or someone is wrong or imperfect. I can do whatever I like. Any others? What can you be inflexible about? And, the point is that goes into fears. This is a good little thing. If you want the PDF, I'll send it to you. It goes on. It's really good. It's like a Briggs-Myers test. It really is. You get yourself into answering these questions, and it allows yourself to begin to open up triggers. That's how post-hypnotic suggestions are put into people. People that are, mind controlled. Trigger words. And it's typically just a word. Can be a phrase, but most often just a word. And as you go through here, it gives you knowing people at first sight, why that happens, how that familiarity is, gives you a chance to begin to dig deeper into what's actually taking place. Again, getting back into the whole arena of, taking that inventory, as it would be said. Now, I've got another one. This is an interesting one, inasmuch that it begins to document the past lives that children can very quickly, number one, ascertain, assimilate, and articulate what it is they have actually lived before. And we're going to look at this document. It's a PDF as well. It's called 30 of the Most Convincing Cases of Children that Have Remarkable Recall of Past Lives. This story is the boy who once again lives with his wife from the past. I'll just read a little bit of this and then we'll get into our main study. I shall begin with a story which Tag Powell, an American friend, leader of seminars and publishers of various books, confided in me during an annual book fair in Frankfurt. Do you know something, Tom? That was what my friends called me. I can tell you about a case of reincarnation that is so extraordinary that it could surely turn every skeptic into a dedicated follower of reincarnation. Even so, I am not inclined to give away the names of the respective couple and their son. I am sure you know this couple, at least by name, since he is a famous author, and he and his wife run seminars in the whole of America. I would have loved to know the name of this couple, but I was not going to encourage Tag to break his promise to them. Even so, I asked, does he run courses on spiritual themes like reincarnation? Astrology or... No, interrupted Tag. He's a bloody scientist, and one of his books has become a national bestseller. He is owner of many patents. His wife is also a scientist and an author. The couple in question had a son whom I shall call Michael. When he was a baby, he desperately wanted to hold his father's Rolex watch in his hand. Who wouldn't? He kept reaching for it again and again. As soon as he could speak his first words, he pointed to the watch and said, "Mine." One day, when his parents called him by name, he pointed to himself and said, "Sonny." He insisted so long and so forcefully on being called Sonny that his parents soon gave in and agreed to his wishes. A few months later, the young nipper said, "Me, Sonny Ray." His mother was immediately taken by this name, which after all meant Son Ray. So from now on, she called him my little Son Ray. One day he told them that he had a wife whose name was Dawn, and that they had both lived in Texas. In his present parents' house, they mainly listened to classical music. When the radio played a country and western song, Michael would sing along, and to their amazement, he even seemed to know the words. One day, Michael was looking at a book about dogs with his mother. All of a sudden, he pointed to a white spaniel and called out excitedly, "That's my dog, Willie." His parents never seemed to seriously consider that their son could be talking about something from a previous life. Sometime later, when the boy was 7 years old, the couple was running a seminar in Texas. One of the people taking part was Don Ray. During a break, Michael's father started a conversation with the woman and asked her whether she was married. She told him, "I have been a widow for 8 years. What was your husband's first name?" "Sonny," she replied. The couple then looked at each other in amazement. Then he asked the woman whether she would please come to their hotel after the seminar because they had something important to tell her. When she got there, they told her that they have a son who claims to have been married to someone called Don Ray from Texas in a previous life. "Did you own a white spaniel?" asked Michael's mother. "Oh, yes, that was our Willie." Ba-da-da-dum. He and Sonny were inseparable. Mrs. Ray now was determined to get to know Michael. Michael's parents phoned home to arrange a flight for him, and 2 days later, the 7-year-old was able to fly out to be with them. Well, that had to be a trip for a 7-year-old. Hell yeah, but he knew he's not 7. They did not tell their son over the phone why it was so important for him to come to Texas so suddenly. After collecting him from the airport, they took him straight away to Mrs. Ray's house. When she opened the door, the boy recognized her immediately and called out excitedly, "Don!" He stretched out his hand and ran into the arms of the dazed Mrs. Ray, I imagine, hugged her and gave her a big kiss on the cheek. Finally, everyone sat down in the living room. Mrs. Ray, who was still skeptical, asked Michael whether he knew this house. He did not recognize it. On hearing that, she explained that she only moved into this house 2 years ago, after the death of Sonny. Then Michael asked her whether she had kept his guitar. Mrs. Ray was highly amused at this question. She went to a cupboard and took out a guitar and placed it in the outstretched hands of the little man, all 7 years old of him. Michael held the instrument like a competent guitar player. After a couple of tries, even though the fretboard was not the right size for a 7-year-old, he began to play and sing a well-known folk song. This especially amazed his parents, since to their knowledge, their son had never played the guitar. Then he asked Mrs. Ray, whom he now addressed as Don, whether she also kept his watch for him. She fetched a box in which the watch was kept. Then he asked her for his camera. His parents first wanted to know exactly what it looked like. When he had described it, Don fetched it, and it perfectly matched the description. Also, his pipe, which he wanted to see, had first to be described by him. Wow. Tag closed his reports with the comment, "I would have loved to have been witness to that evening." Who wouldn't want to be? To me, I agreed. Gosh, Tag, that's really an incredible story. The best bit is yet to come, he continued. Dawn sold her house and moved in with the family in California. She looked after Michael since his parents were often away traveling. When she moved to New York, Michael missed her so much that even though he was only 14 years old, his parents agreed to let him live in New York with her. They have lived together ever since. Wow. Talk about a quick turnaround. If these events were really like you say, or even close to it, then this is a real classic, I said. Honest to God, this is a true story. He goes on to say, dear readers, my jaw dropped in amazement when I heard this story. Perhaps it is the same for you. One more word for our dear skeptics who are in no way inclined to believe in reincarnation, but who still read the report. You still have the chance to put this book down. For if you do not, you may find yourself having to agree that maybe there really is some truth in it. To the rest of my readers, I would now like to report on some more unquestionable cases. I'll stop there because we got, again, where we left off on Open the Channel. But folks, this is, how do you do that? Now, you have to believe, number one, the author, the writer, and the situation. But again, the book, you can get it on PDF. I'll be more than happy to. And I think we're going to continue to read these stories because that's a remarkable case. Sonny died, and it appears 2 years later, thereabouts, he reincarnates. I mean, that's fast. May even be sooner than that. I don't know. But it kind of goes, well, how does a soul have a chance to even, I don't know, re-energize? Was it just an oddity? But we're going to find out. There are 29 other stories that continue to prove this. A lot of people writing it. Yeah. It's quite fascinating because, again, what does it hurt to live is as if you do have past life and therefore accountability. I don't think that there is this accountability that is the Abrahamic thread. There's good evidence to say there's very little accountability except to yourself, that there's no one out there going to punish you. There's no place you go to be sent and, for timeout, or someone's going to put your chair in the corner and until you've contemplated this enough. I don't think it really is that way. I mean, you got to ask yourself that if it is that way, then why isn't the higher gods held accountable? You got the mythos of what, the Judeo-Christian values of, Satan, but, his time is going to come. I hear Led Zeppelin, your time is going to come. But anyway, no, I think that it's not that way, folks. And I know, cause and effect, but no one is qualified to judge you but you. How can something else judge you? It hasn't lived your life. And to what standards are you being judged by? You got to think these things out, folks. I was caught in that crazy guilt matrix. As if I do this, something bad's going to happen to me. And, it's mixed with superstition. It's just bad mojo. Quit beating yourself up. Love yourself. You're not perfect. You don't want to be perfect. What do you do after perfectness? What, are you going to sing around on the harp and sing Kumbaya La? That is no life. No. I like the concept of the prime creator. It feeds off of our experiences. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, we do it in our own lives. So, yeah, Robert, even if there is a penalty, how do you finally break free? It's up here. There's control for this. It's not this, it's this. This is the power. This is the master control program. And if it was left to us individually, we would develop individually our own universes. I think that's where many of us are heading. And so to break free from that Abrahamic mindset, you have to denounce it. You know, think it out logically. Who was there before Abraham? The Samaritans. Oh, well, that's convenient. So Abraham was a Samaritan. Yeah. Yeah, but didn't the Samaritans already have their gods, Enki and Enlil? Yeah. So who was this cat that Abraham supposedly made a deal with? Don't know. And the thing about even with the Samaritan mythos, we've got no evidence of them in Göbekli Tepe. We've got no evidence of them in Mesoamerica. We've got no evidence of them in the Aborigines. What? They was late for the party? Folks, one day you're going to wake up and realize there are a lot of gods. The thing about it here, this is an amusement park. Choose the god that you want to dig with, you know? My neutrality stance is this, is that I don't want nothing to do with any of them. None. They're all murderers. I mean, why? Why would you want that? They kill humans. That sucks. I just don't want no part of that. I believe peace, man. Make love, not war. Worked well for me in the 70s, and I think it's going to work well for me on the other side. I mean, you just got to look at it. You know, I remember Star Trek did the one about when gods die. Remember when the god, I think it was Apollo, who captured the Enterprise, and you go through the whole thing, how Apollo is nothing more than another species, has the same similar traits of emotions like humans. But in the end, what happened to Apollo? He said, we can't exist unless you believe in us, worship us. And Kirk says, we worship no God, something to that thing. But anyway, so, boy, that just got that thing. Somebody lied to us. Yeah, they did. You know, it's a great control thing. I mean, it's like wearing a tracker around your neck. I mean, they don't need to have a policeman watch you. You are your own prisoner and your own guard, you know? And people go through their whole life beating themselves up in this guilt, forgiveness, guilt, forgiveness, guilt, forgiveness. One day it's going to dawn on everybody, we are imperfect. That's what makes the journey. And to hold yourself lacking to a standard that can't be met is insanity. It's crazy, folks. It's just flat out crazy. I mean, what are you going to do on the other side? They're going to say, well, you know, you didn't forgive Miss Sally Two Shoes, you know, when she tripped your ass and, you know, and you said, well, I'll tell you one thing, by God, I might forgive her, but I ain't ever going to forgive her. I mean, forget about it. So what's your point? Yeah, I'm imperfect. That's me. You know, it makes me who I am. And yeah, I ain't going to forgive that bitch because, you know, I mean, you think about it. It's just the way people, how you've been brainwashed, manipulated. Do you know where I saw the most adultery? In church. I saw more people screwing each other and more people screwing each other out of money. And I mean, yikes. I look back now, I was in a freaking pit of vipers is what I was in. And sometimes you get bit. Think about it, folks. There can't be a perfect state. Things would cease to exist like that. Anyway, all right. So let me move on to our thing. This has been so far a lively conversation. I love it. Looking forward to tomorrow. All right. We're into chapter 3, and it says, who are the guides? I think that's a question all of us have. Well, who are these cats? We've covered here in these lessons and many different books, many different ideas about guides. In the spiritualist book, we found out that they're called super intelligences. Well, okay, I can dig that word as well. This is, again, Oren and Deben. They go on to say, there are so many places that guides come from that they appear to be infinite. You might find it useful to classify guides into those who have lived at least one earth life and those who have not lived an earth life at all. Okay. I mean, if we channeled the Palladians or the Orions, I mean, doubt if they're going to really be able to say that any of them have spent a lifetime on Earth. Who knows? There are other guides that do not fit into these categories. I, Oren, have lived on Earth life very long ago in your years, so that I could better understand physical existence. Deben is also a being of light, and he has not lived an Earth life. I had a vision once of, I was in a place literally as a light being. I was walking next to a promenade that had a river going through the middle of it. Anyway, I digress. Your guide chooses you to work with because of a similarity of goals and purposes. What's your purpose in life? Think about that. Not all entities from the higher realms choose to be guides, just as not all of you choose to be channels. Work on the other planes of reality is as varied as your work can be on Earth. Guides are beings who are highly skilled at transmitting energy from their dimension into yours. Very curious. It takes an enormous amount of energy and skill from our plane to reach through to yours, I can imagine. And it is done most often out of pure love of humanity and devotion to transmitting higher ideals. As you reach the higher realms, altruistic service to others is a path of rapid evolution. We pick you because of an alignment of goals and because we love you. When we speak to you, others in our realm may help to amplify our energy. For our substance is so fine, it takes focus and amplification to reach through to you. Very odd, that term substance. My wife and I were talking about this, is that's what we are. We are substance. If we could only remember that. Now, one of the things that I always remembered, and I was telling my wife that I've known this for literally almost 40 years, can quote it to you word for word, verbatim. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And here we see that word. They said their substance. is so fine, it takes focus and amplification to get it to us. Our vibrations are so expanded and vast that to narrow it to frequencies that you can hold in your mind takes much practice, skill, and intent. I bet it does, and it's going to take it for us as well. We adjust our perceptual processes to accommodate to your different concepts and understandings. To make a connection with you, we must be able to work with energy at very subtle and refined levels. There are different levels of proficiency in this ability among guides. High-level guides come from very high realms of light. To live in these higher dimensions requires an advanced level of control over emotions and mind and skill at using energy. Some guides have lived on Earth, mastered the lessons, and are now pure spirits existing in the higher dimensions, and are evolving further through serving humanity. Others come from multidimensional realities and are extremely high beings in their own systems. Some of you may choose to channel your higher selves. Your higher self can provide love, compassion, spiritual guidance, and wise counsel. Both your guide and higher self are here to serve your growth, boost you higher, and assist you in living your higher purpose. Love the tea. Guides can appear to your inner eye as peculiar nationalities with clothing that is appropriate. I, Oren, appear to Sanaya as a radiant shimmer of light that sits around her body when she channels. She is aware that I am about 8 or 9 feet tall. All that she can see whenever she tries to picture my face is brilliant white light. Some reports seeing their guides as color. Some perceive their guides as sounds. Others feel their guides as opening in their hearts. As you become accustomed to seeing or sensing energy in your higher dimensions, some of you will be able to see or sense your guides more clearly. Some people picture their guides as familiar figures they have known who represent great love and wisdom to them. Guides may appear as either male or female, although in the realms of pure energy, there is no polarity. So most guides are not truly male or female. Guides will choose an entity that will best accompany what they are here to do, or one that you can most relate to. If by nature of their work they want to embody such qualities as softness or nurturing, they may take on a feminine appearance. Often a guide who wants to represent a masculine role will take on a masculine appearance. Some will adopt the appearance of a previous life it had lived on Earth and use the name of that person. Yeah. There are as many entities for guides as there are for people. So be open to whatever form or appearance in which your guide presents himself or herself to you. Some guides are purely intellectual and want to impart new ideas of science, logic, math, or new systems of thought. Some entities from other dimensions are from the worlds of essence beyond all forms. They work best with people who are not concerned with the forms, details, or specifics of their lives or work, but want to work with energy directly or in ways that involve experiencing energy directly. If you are looking for specific advice from these guides about where to live or what business choices to make, you may be very disappointed. However, If you want to work with energy through touch or body work, they may help you produce amazing results. If you want to learn about the nature of reality as energy, they may be able to give you wonderful direct experiences of higher energies. Even at the highest levels, guides have different talents and areas of expertise, just as you do. Some may be very good at giving concrete advice, problem solving, and helping you out in your everyday life. Some may be good at giving inspiring, informative talks or relaying spiritual truths. If you ask a question about a subject that is outside their specialty, they will find the information and get it to you. For instance, your guide may be quite adept at channeling spiritual information, but he may not have information about scientific matters. If you need scientific information for something and it is important for you to have it, your guide will get it to you, perhaps by sending a book or a person with the knowledge your way, or it will come from another guide. Do not think that once you channel, you must be able to do everything. Guides pick you because you are most aligned with what they want to bring to Earth. Most likely, your guide will help you develop what you have wanted to do or are already doing with your life. Let it be all right if there are areas outside your or your guide's realm of knowledge. Some guides are called beings of light because they work with light and use the language of light. Many high-level guides are nearly pure energy, having evolved into spirit and become pure light. Some people call them beings of light because they work in a spectrum of light and use the language of light, transmitting thoughts directly to the souls of those they work with. That is freaking far out. We, or Anindaben, have been our beings of light. We come from what you call multidimensional reality. Our assistance is available when you call on your own guide or us. Our goal is to assist you in linking with your own guide from our realms or a guide of comparable wisdom and light to help you evolve and achieve higher consciousness. There are so many places where guides come from that it is more useful not to worry about where they are from, but to differentiate between guides who are working for your good and guides who are not. Souls of all levels of mastery can exist in the non-physical dimensions. Entities can be from many different dimensions and realities and be at different stages in their own evolutions. It is important for you to be discriminating about what guide you connect with. We are primarily concerned that your guide is sufficiently skilled and able and committed to assist you with your spiritual growth. High-level guides are sources of guidance, clarity, and direction. People often ask us, how can you tell if the guide you attract is a high-level guide? We think that all of you have the ability to recognize a guide who is not high. I mean, if they're smoking bad weed, you don't want them. When you meet people, you have an immediate sense of how wise and loving they are. You know if you feel good and happy around them or depreciated and unhappy. With a guide, use the same faculty of judgment that you use with people. You have the ability to recognize wisdom. Truth usually feels as if you already know it. High guides come to you to light your path. I'm hearing the doors now. Light your fire. All right. Their only wish is for your higher good. They are here. They are there to help you with some things as remembering who you are, letting go of fear, and learning to love yourself and others. They come to add to your joy and to assist you with your personal growth and your work here on earth. High-level guides neither frighten you nor build up your ego. They do not flatter you, although they will applaud your progress. They create a sense of expanded awareness and greater inner vision. They encourage you to use your own wisdom and discernment rather than blindly follow anything you are told. They never tell you that you have to do something or attempt to determine a direct outcome in your personal life. They support and encourage you to develop and use your inner strengths and deeper wisdom. They will encourage you not to give your power to them. High-level guides are often humble and always encourage you to trust your own wisdom above all cases. They may make some strong suggestions and assist you in making your own choices. High-level guides may point out something that is not working in your life, but they will do so in such a way that will make you feel empowered. High-level guides rarely predict future events. If they do, it is only because the information is useful for your growth or for humanity. If the information you receive from someone else's guide diminishes you or makes you feel bad about yourself, choose if you want to accept it or as your truth or not. If you come away from a reading by a guide and you feel fearful about your life, then you have not been with a high-level guide, for they leave you feeling uplifted and supported for the person you are. They help you see yourself in new and expanded ways. Be aware that you can turn an uplifting message into one of less joy if you choose to hear it as negative rather than positive. All right, I think we'll just leave it there. We'll pick up this on the next time around. That's far out stuff, man. I really enjoy how we see these truths. I mean, the core group here, we've been at this now a while. And how many different books, how many different sources have we read where we see a commonality of terminology, descriptions? It's all there. And there's an old idiom that says, in the mouth of two or more witnesses, let everything be established. Well, I think in our case, we're finding witness after witness after witness that continues to reaffirm these truths that we're learning. Oh, Cayce, no, honey, you're worried about nothing. I don't see things like that. Here, everyone has a right to express it. And sometimes, it's all right. I mean, so it's all cool. All right, folks, that was just a fascinating read. I mean, we're going to get into more stories about the children. This is interesting. Be ye like a little child. Is that what it says? Yeah. It still fascinates me, though. I mean, such a quick turnaround. But yeah, I'll tell you, folks, we're getting closer. People say to what? Well, I don't think it's the abyss or the edge. I think we're much more closer to, I think, a much greater reveal. Let's see. I don't know, Joyce. I check my emails, and when I do, it's typically about 4 o'clock, 4:30, thereabouts, after I finish meditating. I'll check them out, though. All right, folks. This is far out. Tomorrow, we'll have Cajun Queen Tarot, Miss Lois, on. Going to have some guests on with her as well. And we're going to have a fun time talking. I think we're going to talk a lot about this. We all are there. I mean, listen, there's a lot of people who use the tarot. And the cards, again, are picking up on a lot of energies. The language of light. I love it. Thank you, Infinite Frequencies. Much appreciated. Y'all are the best, We're learning together. And I like bringing stuff that we don't see other places on different channels. And that's why I dig deep for these, what I call great jewels. These PDFs are, I mean, they're just far out. That's all I can say. All right, folks. Thank you again. Much love to you. Much favor be with you this day. And thank you for adding to my journey. I hope that I've sown some positiveness into yours. And, you know, with knowledge, you have victory. So there you go. All right. Peace, everyone. I will see you tomorrow. Tune in tonight over in The Artist First. Good. Really good. Intersections. Crossroads. Is there only one way? Are we heading away? All right, folks. Bye-bye.